Locker Room, with all the sports news you need, live.
Well, hello, very good evening to you, and welcome to a very special show with two very special presenters. That's what they say anyway. Tonight I was going to say I'm joined by Michael, but my name's Michael, and I'm joined by Graham. Now, we're wearing our Scotland jerseys tonight, so I don't know what's happening. And hopefully we'll be joined by William Wallace later on in the show. I mean, Dave Smith later on the show. He's getting his makeup on as we speak. Okay, I don't know what happened there, but it was funny. So this is the Locker Room on Indie Live Radio on Independence Live. Joined tonight by my co-host.
The Locker Room, with all the sports news you need, live.
Okay, take number 4. I'm sorry about that. I don't know what actually happened there. And I came back on the screen and Graham is not here, so that's going to be good. Hopefully Graham will be back in a few minutes' time. And tonight we'll be joined by Dave Smith as well to look ahead to the big game at Hampden Park, the old enemy, two clubs going to war and all that. Scotland against England at a quarter kickoff at Hampden Park. The game's live on Channel 4, but also after Channel 4, come back to us because we have got the post-match, the post-match reaction show after the game. I will be on at 10 o'clock tonight. Good evening to Graham, or Watson on Facebook. He says, hi, buddy. Hello to you as well, son. Of course, you can copy Graham. You can comment on Facebook or YouTube, and you can make your comments to us tonight as well. Coming up on the show tonight, then, we'll look to the game, of course, and we'll get you some team news at Hampden Park. Hopefully, maybe about 7:15 tonight between Scotland and England. And also, we'll hear from Stevie Clark on the show as well. All coming up tonight between now and 7 o'clock in the big build-up show. After the game, we're back on at 10 o'clock for hopefully a Scotland win, and hopefully we will qualify for the Euros without kicking the ball tonight. But if not, it's only a matter of time. Scotland will qualify anyway, and we are off to Germany for next year's European Championships. And don't forget, we will be the official radio station of the European Championships because we'll be covering it as well. So, Graham is away off. He has been subbed by Dave Smith. How's it going, Dave? And I can see you wearing a Scotland jersey tonight, so that's good. I think we've got some technical issues. Yeah, there we go. That's a Three Amigos back now. I don't know what happened at the beginning of the show, but that was quite funny actually. Dave, how are you?
Yeah, fine. If you said anything important 30 seconds ago, I didn't listen because, quite simply, your line was a bit funny. But yep, all good here.
Yep, good stuff, and Grim. That's good that you're back in as well. Because I felt as though I was talking to myself that even though people was watching, well, hopefully they were watching. Thanks, Mum and Dad, for watching. But yeah, good to see you back, Grim. I don't know what happened there.
Michael, Graham's there on. We'll speak about football. Come on.
Yeah,
Hello, can you
I
hear me?
don't know. Yeah, we can hear you, Graham. Yeah. So
Hello.
yeah, Dave, are you looking forward to the game tonight? Obviously, it's a big game.
It's a big game just in the aspect of it's Scotland against England, but ultimately it's a friendly, and I think that's important to remember. When I say friendly here, just to clarify, when I say friendly in inverted commas. But yes, it's an important game for Scotland. It's an important game for England. I'll start with ourselves. I think it's an important game just to build in the momentum. I'm expecting a few tweaks to the system, not too many. I'm not expecting wholesale changes tonight, but I'm expecting Scotland and Steve Clark to still put out a solid enough side this evening for the match. I think it'll be a fascinating encounter. England will have a point to prove as well because they've had a disappointing, they also had a disappointing result on Saturday against UK. But I think for Scotland, I think it's an opportunity to put on another good show in front of our home supporters, but at exactly the same time, we've got the permutations of a certain result in Oslo to conjure over as well. Now, unfortunately, the signal in Hampden Park isn't exactly the best for the fans and the punters that go out and watch, but at exactly the same time, a big night is at stake. And um, sometimes with friendlies, and I've made this point in newspaper articles that I've done in the last few days, Michael. Sometimes with games this magnitude, there can be meaningless games like just in terms of everything like ticket sales and television broadcasts and intensity, both on and off the ball, and various things such as that, how managers approach it. But I think this has got a very different meaning to it. Like, I know Scotland against Poland a year or so ago had that exact meaning to it as well, where both sides were going properly at it, and it didn't feel like a friendly. I'm expecting the same tonight. I'm expecting both sides to go right at it. Any fear that players are going to get injured is probably going to be secondary for players tonight because quite simply they're going to want to go and do well for Scotland. And despite the fact that the games are friendly tonight, I think there's a bit of incentive for Scotland because I don't think Scotland's got a decent result against England for a while. They obviously drew 0-0 against them at Euro 2021, so to speak, but at exactly the same time, we're due a win against England, and our good mate Michael John Blaisdell kind of touched upon that. I thoroughly agree with John. I think the Scotland side has the attributes, the qualities, and the desire to finally get one over. We've had too much sad stories regarding Scotland in games against England, and it's time that changed.
Yeah, no, exactly. Just to give you a bit of context for the game tonight, if you need to know, we have met the old enemy, I think, again 15 times. We Scotland has won 41. England, boo, who are they? 48 times. And I don't know if you saw Gareth Southgate's press conference, Dave, yesterday that was saying about there's not our terms of meaningless friendlies. Basically, he was saying that every game's important and every game's important to us as well.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, I think every game you go into is got an important aspect to it. But if this was Scotland against Hungary, there wouldn't be the same taste to it. There wouldn't be the same feel to it. There wouldn't be the same atmosphere to it. Wouldn't be the same intensity to it. There wouldn't be the same hype towards it. Most importantly, but because it's Scotland against England, this has got a totally different dynamic to it. I mean, it's an opportunity to get an important result. I mean, I'm of the opinion that there's a far more important game in Oslo from a Scotland perspective this evening. I'm of the opinion of that, and there's a lot more people asking. And by the way, Michael, you've clearly not read the private chat because the press conference is at a minute, and we'll get on to it with Steve Clark later on in the show. So just to clarify, Mr. McCure, this press conference will be a minute, just so you get told that live in air. But yeah, with regards to back on tonight's game, and I think with regards to how Stevie Clark will set up, I'm expecting him to go for the same formation. Why fix 7-8 broke? And that's the most important message for me as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, in terms of the changes that I think he might make in terms of subs coming on, I'd like to see players get some game time, like Robbie McCrory, maybe I'd like to see Lewis Ferguson get some much needed action in Scotland jersey because he probably still needs to get quite familiar. Lawrence Shankland, what's the latest with Lawrence Shankland, Graham?
I think the latest news in Shankland, Dave, is he doesn't know, and that's why he's away, or maybe he's away to find out. I'm not actually sure on that one, Dave. Oh, no. I think Graham's having some fun and games tonight, actually. It's going to be a fun show. So I'm not sure.
He's no second tier of Lawrence Shankland, is he?
Yeah.
He's no second tier of Lawrence Shankland, is he?
Exactly. It's basically turned his back on him, Dave.
I find that ludicrous considering he's a Hearts fan. And I know Stephen Naismith and Frankie McAvoy haven't got off to the gates to start, so I know the structure's a bit. Yeah, I think that could play a huge part in it, but exactly the same time, Shankland's been a great player for Hearts. But back on to my topics here, just briefly, Michael, just before we finish. Yeah, I'd like to see us go with it. Obviously, find out the lineups in the next 10 minutes, but I'd like to see us go with the same lineup as what we have been. Maybe one or two changes here and there, and then maybe if the game's comfortable, even if we're maybe 2-0 down, or 3-0 down, and maybe England are comfortable enough. I'd like to see us give players a chance. So I'm interested to see how he approaches this. So I think it'll be rather fascinating, but I'd like to see us get a balance tonight, if I'm going to be very honest with you.
It's very interesting, Dave, because obviously, going between Stevie Clark's press conference, by the way, Carl McGregor again, for he was up yesterday as well, and Gareth Southgate. I watched his press conference today, but do you not feel as though it's more like a kind of like Champions League kind of game, or a league kind of game, because both squads has got players in them that we see every week, whether it's in Scotland and England. It's just got that kind of feel to it.
I get what you're saying, but I don't think you're right. I think in terms of the quality that's on show tonight, Michael, I think we're going to see, if you look at everything in great motion here, we're probably going to see Europa League level sized players here. Well, Europa League, if you take Harry Kane, Andy Robertson, and maybe Jordan Henderson out the equation. If you take them three players out the equation, we're probably going to see a Europa League style game. And I think it'll be a Europa League level atmosphere tonight. I think Champions League's a little bit OTT, just because Champions League's got that more meaning to it. Scotland is, if this was Scotland against England in the World Cup group stages or World Cup or European group stages, I would have a totally different terminology to it, and I'd probably agree with what you're saying. But exactly the same time, I think on the other hand, I think as much as I'm expecting a high intensity game tonight, I don't think both teams will be going at it fully committed towards each other. They'll be fully committed for their countries, absolutely, but in terms of fully committed in terms of challenges, tackles, whatever have you, I can't see that being the same. And that's where it'll be interesting to see who wins the battles and who can obviously get the bit between their teeth to go win this game and whatever have you. But the interesting thing for me, and you obviously get onto it later on the show, Michael. But the interesting thing for me will be as if Scotland are 2-1 up or 3-1 up, game's comfortable, they'll be a party inside Hampden if that's the case. And then it's just going to go electric if Norway 1-0 up, just to give you a prime example, and then Georgia go and equalise. That's where it's going to be absolutely electric. On the other hand, we could be 2-0 down to England tonight, and Georgia could go and score that equaliser against Norway. And even although we're 2-0 down, it will have a weird feeling to it because this has been, with the exception of the playoffs to reach Euro 2020, which was 21, of course, it's probably going to feel a bit different reaching European group stage football this time, considering we've done it to pretend, well, let's be honest, it's our souls now, we've done it automatically. So, yeah, I think it's going to be a strange atmosphere. It'll be an electric atmosphere, but I think it'll be strange at the same time.
Graham, welcome back to the show. But Dave was asking you about Rotherham Shanklin, and basically you went off. So I'm not sure if you're Rotherham Shanklin's the number one person to send for you to send him a Christmas card, or maybe just gave up on the guy as well. But can you hear us now?
Do you know what the problem was, right? I've got two Wi-Fi extenders. One of them doesn't work properly, the other one does, and I plugged the wrong one in, and I've only just noticed it. So I've now plugged the right one in, so I'm back to normal now.
So basically, Graham, I don't know if you've realised, but we beat England tonight 2-1, and it's now 10:05. So yeah. But no. So what do you think about tonight's game, Graham? Obviously, me and Dave was talking about it there. But what do you think?
I can't wait. I'm buzzing. Honestly, see anyone that says that this is just a friendly. No, it's not. It's not just a friendly. It's a friendly in name only for me. If this was England at table tennis or tiddlywinks or chess, I'd want Scotland to win. This is not just a friendly. I can't wait for this. I want to send them home to think again. No doubt about that. I think it'll be a strong team tonight. From what I've seen from England, I think Aaron Ramsdale's in goals for them, and I think they're going to play Kieran Trippier at left back with Kyle Walker at right back. I hope they take this seriously because I want to beat them. I think Scotland will go very strong. There'll be a lot of managers out there now going ahead to the weekend thinking, please don't get injured. But I don't want Scotland to take their foot off the gas here. I want us to go at them right for the start, really get in their faces and really make a statement today and get them one. I want to win this game so much, honestly. If we do, I'll be delighted. But there is another big game tonight that I think Dave might have touched on earlier. I am hoping that by the time that we've finished, that Scotland have qualified with Norway and Georgia having a draw. I don't think they will. If I'm being honest, I think Norway will probably win that. Georgia were hammered 7-1 by Spain a few days ago, so I don't see it happening. But yeah, I honestly can't wait for the Scotland England. It's brilliant.
I mean, I don't think it really matters, Greg, because it's only a matter of time before we qualify anyway. It would be brilliant for us to beat England tonight and for the game to now finish up 0-0, but it's going to happen one of these days, you know. But going back to basically what Glenn was saying there about and there's Dave away as well. We're having some show tonight, by the way. Apparently we are getting England got a good time with them because even though they're winning games, the fans aren't very happy. And I know that England's top of their group at the moment, but apparently they're getting stick off of the English media, but also their fans. So it's a good time for them to come to our kind of back door.
I think it is. I don't think they're a good side. You know, they were very good against Ukraine. Ukraine should have won that game quite comfortably. And I just don't see a lot that impresses me. Yes, they've got some good players for me. But I've never really rated Gareth Southgate anyway. I know they did well at the World Cup, but they weren't really playing against top quality teams until they got beat by France. I don't think England are that great a side. They've got a lot of issues. I mean, a lot of England fans that I see on Twitter and that are not happy about the fact that Harry Maguire doesn't play for Man United, yet he's in the England side. Same with Jordan Henderson. Henderson goes away to Saudi Arabia, yet he's playing for England. England are not a very good side. Now, they might beat us tonight because they've got millions of pounds worth of talent on the pitch. But I think Scotland are in a far better place than England right now. We're a very, very good side. We've got a lot of real quality in that team, and there's no doubt for me that Scotland can win this game tonight. And if we do, friendly and name, as I said only, this would be a massive, massive thing for Scotland to win tonight. If England win, it's probably expected, but honestly, I don't think there's any reason that Scotland should win this game because I think we're a better side.
Dave, you know as well as I do that the mainstream media thinks that Scottish football's
I'll go at Dave's point. Sorry, Michael. Sorry, I'll go to Graham's point from earlier on because I was trying to answer that question until I got cut off there. I don't think that'll be Steve Clarke's mentality, just in terms of switching off and thinking it's only family. That will not be Steve Clarke's mentality. I've spoken to players that have played with Steve Clarke and they said no, he'll take it very seriously. He'll play strongest lineup and he'll go at it from the word go. So I think as far as this is concerned, I'm expecting a full studded lineup. I'm expecting an intent from the word go. And I'm expecting Scotland to properly go at their opponents here. So I think it's going to be a very fascinating one, probably. And I'm interested to see where all this will go from here. But I'm intrigued by how things will evolve. But yeah, Michael, back to you. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say, you know as well as I do, Dave and Graham, to a certain extent, that the English media don't rate Scottish football, but in terms of if we get a good result tonight and a good performance, do you think that I'll put our pals back in the box?
Is that to me or Dave?
Dave. Oh, and just because I say back in your box, I never meant back in your box, Dave. I wanted you to answer that one, but I'll let you go back in your box if you want. Graham, how do you feel about that? Because I was watching, your favourite pal Simon Johnson and Jim White at it today in Talk Sport.
Yeah, I mean, listen, a lot of things that Simon Jordan says, he can be quite arrogant at times. But I mean, I think you are right. There's a lot of English folk are not overly enamoured by Scotland, and there's a lot of. We saw it after the Euros last time when Scotland drew. It was basically how bad England were. There was no real kind of thing about Scotland were excellent. That doesn't annoy me at times, to be honest. We don't get the credit we deserve. And I suppose if we win tonight, they'll just say, it's just a friendly. England didn't care. They'll care. There is no doubt they'll care. They don't want to get beat by Scotland. England fans don't want to get beat by Scotland. So I think it will be a statement win for us if we win this. And as folk have said as well, we're basically probably the favourites for this game because we are in a different group. We're in a different Nations League thing from England. They're in Group B, we're in Group A. So we're going up the way, then go down the way. But for me, this is not, I keep saying it and I've heard it all day, this is not a friendly for me. This is a game that matters. The only thing that I do find a bit frustrating about these friendly games, and not just tonight, but any friendly game, is the fact that you can make loads of substitutes. That's going to be frustrating because I think probably at times during the game you're going to see 5 or 6 changes getting made. That will disrupt the flow of the game. I hope that doesn't happen, but that's my one worry tonight. I don't really want that to happen. Like if Scotland are in a decent bit of playing a decent tempo, playing really well, I don't want 6 or 7 changes that could kind of disrupt the flow of that game. I want us to keep going. But like I said, there'll be managers out there looking forward to the game on Saturday and Sundays thinking, please don't get injured. But there's no way. You'll see right from the first whistle, Scotland have been up for this. No doubt about that, Scotland have been up for this. And I can't wait.
Of course, it's brilliant to read these kind of like facts and figures before the game because I was doing my research. Yes, Graham doesn't believe me. I do research only for about 2 minutes before we go in there. We've also won 5 domestic games in all competitions and made 2 goals for the first time, believe it or not, 1949. Can you remember the games back then, Graham? It's
I'm not that old.
It's brilliant to see.
No, it's great. I'm not even that old. No, it is great to see. And I think the last time we played England at Hampden was 2017 with those 2 Lee Griffiths goals.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever celebrated 2 goals as much as I celebrated those. They were just magnificent, and we were so close to beating them until the Harry Kane goal. But yeah, I mean, we talked about it last week on Friday. There is a real feel-good factor about Scotland just now. And you are right. We are going to go to the Euros. We know that. I would love it to be tonight when Norway and Georgia are drawn, but we are going. But it's just great. There's a real positive attitude. I was watching videos earlier on from Scotland fans in Glasgow. The atmosphere looks amazing, and it will just continue tonight. And if we win the game, it won't be treated like a friendly. Scotland fans will love it. I'll love it. You'll love it. We'll all be overjoyed if we can beat them. And we are scoring goals. We do look a really good side at the moment. That we talked about on Friday during the show. That third goal against Cyprus was a magnificent move and a great goal. And then you've got guys like Scott. You get guys that are playing tonight, playing for Scotland that play in England. They'll want to show the English media we're good enough to play here. We're good players. You've got John McGinn, you've got Scott McTominay, guys like that. Scott McTominay's scoring goals for Scotland. He'll want to prove a point tonight. Not that I think he needs to, but he'll want to prove a point.
Yeah, no, exactly. And you can share that with us because we'll be back at 10 o'clock as well after the game, hopefully with a victory as well. Do you think that, some people will call it a minor friendly, but there's no friendly when you play your kind of neither rivals, a bit like Hearts and Hibs and Celtic and Rangers. But do you feel as though that they'll kind of like shut up a wee bit?
Potentially. It's difficult because I do think, I listened to a lot of England fans earlier on today and they're like, we'll beat Scotland quite comfortably. They're not a great side. Obviously, I disagree with that. Scotland have proved that we're a good side. We could be, if results go well tonight, we could be the first team to qualify, which would be incredible. Who would have thought that at the start of this campaign? I said it on Friday. When the draw was made and I saw Norway and Spain, I thought, right, Spain will win the group comfortably. Then it's Scotland and Norway for second place. I don't think anybody thought Scotland would top this group with 5 wins out of 5, 3 games to go. It's just unbelievable how well we've done. And I think Steve Clarke has done a magnificent job. And I think, I can't remember when it was, but I think you might have mentioned the fact that, Steve Clarke signed a new contract and was it a bit too early? No one's thinking that now. But if I go back to the Ireland game, we got beat 3-0. There was a lot of Scotland fans then thinking Steve Clarke's got to go. What a turnaround he's done. What is it? 8 games unbeaten after that, 8 or 9 games unbeaten after that. The feel-good factor is really, really good. And like I said on Friday, after today, we've then got France in our friendly and we've got Spain in our Euros game. These are games you want to be involved in. They're magnificent. And, like I said before, nobody's pulling out a Scotland squad now. Everybody wants to get involved. And I think when that Scotland team drops in about 6:30, in about 15 minutes, I don't think there'll be a lot of changes from the game on Friday. I think, like Dave says, you'll see a very, very strong side. I'm intrigued to see what kind of side England play and how serious they're going to take this. Are they going to rest a few players? I'm interested to see what they're going to do with that.
Yeah, no, you're right. We're basically undefeated in eight qualifying games, and believe it or not, it's the longest run in European in Europe for Scotland, and hopefully kind of like that keeps up. Remember, get your comments in. We're here until 7 o'clock. We're going to hear from the main man in a minute or two. No, not Graham Duffy, but Steve Clarke, or Sir Steve Clarke, in a minute or two. And we'll be back on at 10 o'clock as well to hopefully celebrate Scotland win. And remember, get your predictions in before the game. I'll be asking Graham and Dave if he comes back out of his box before the end of the show. I could ask him after the show, after the game, but that kind of defeats the purpose. So get your thinking caps on, Graham. I think I know what you're going to say. Actually, I think you mentioned it early on. Actually, but yeah, we'll ask you that later, and we'll give you the team news as Mr. Duffy says coming out soon. And talking about the team, Graham, if Stevie Clark makes 1 or 2 week changes or tweaks in the system, yeah, you really won't be disappointed because you know the whole squad over the past year or so has made a real difference. So it doesn't matter who comes in or who drops out; they'll still do a job.
No, 100%. It's a really good squad, and folk want to get into that squad now. And if anyone does drop out, you know that you've got players that are capable of stepping in, which is, I said on Friday, you've got a very, very strong squad there. I would like to, obviously, for a biased opinion, I would like to see Lauren Shanklin getting some game time. I don't know if he will. You know, you saw on Friday that even like Kevin Nisbet didn't get on. So it shows the kind of squad we've got just now. You've also got like the young Ben Doak, who I watched under 21s yesterday, and he was outstanding against Spain. He's only 17. That lad is going to go straight to the top. He's such a good footballer. He's got pace. He's really creative. He causes problems. I think he's a very, very good player, and he will go right to the top. And you know, even if he was involved tonight, well, he was because we're under 21, but yeah, I mean, he is just he's the next one I think that could easily make the step up to the Scotland squad. But again, it now begs the question. I wish Dave was back on here, but I'll ask you now, and I'll ask anyone that's on the chat as well, because it kind of leads into this as well, because we're playing England tonight. There's been a lot of talk over the last couple of days about Newcastle winger Harvey Barnes might change allegiances to Scotland. There was only now. I obviously thought at the time that when you played for a country, that was it. He's only played 1 game for England, but it was only a friendly for 40 minutes. But apparently, he's not played like a few games where he's allowed to play for Scotland. Now, what I did like is the fact that Steve Clark said today that he won't be going begging for Harvey Barnes. If he wants to join, he's going to have to phone him, which I do like. But I put on Twitter a couple of days ago that if you get the chance to add a quality player like Harvey Barnes, you've got to take it. I think Barnes would be a really good option for Scotland to have. Even off the bench, he's quick, he's direct, he adds goals to his game. So I'm asking anyone that's watching this, and I'm going to ask you, Michael, because you don't get asked a lot of questions. If Harvey Barnes was to phone up Steve Clark and say, I want to play for Scotland, would you be happy with that? Would you take him?
Yeah, I would bite your hand off, but I wouldn't go begging Tim Grimm because at the end of the day, it's really up to him, even though that we want and everybody in Scotland and whatever wants him to play for Scotland, but I wouldn't go kind of as the proclaimers goes cap in hand. Boom. Sorry, Grim. The proclaimers, I might have sworn now. But I
actually got that as well.
Yeah, exactly. What about you, Graham? I think it would be a good kind of like addition, and even if he doesn't come into the team right away, I'll give him more experience as well.
I said it a couple of days ago. I would take him. I've watched him a few times for Leicester. I've watched him for Newcastle. He's a very, very good player. He has that real searing pace about him. He's creative. He can score goals. He can make goals. I genuinely think if he was to say, I want to play for Scotland, I'm not turning my nose up at that. I don't think you can turn your nose up at quality. Yes, Scotland are in a great place right now, of course we are. But if you get a chance to add quality like that, for me, you take it. But I do agree with the fact that Steve Clark has said, I'm not going to beg him to come. If he wants to come, it's up to him. And I do like that. I think that's the right way to do it. You know, if you want to play for Scotland, then fine. But also, we've had the thing about the whole Elliot Anderson thing as well. And I know that Gareth Southgate's talked about Harvey Barnes and Elliot Anderson. I would quite happily have both of them in that Scotland squad. Again, I think Anderson's a really good player. I've got a couple of mates that are Newcastle fans that like him a lot. So I would generally, if you have the chance to take either one of them or both of them, I would take them. Now, I know folk will say, well, where are they going to play? It's a squad. And I think you've got to use the squad really well. And I genuinely think if they come to Scotland and say, we want to play for you, I'll take that.
Yeah, no, yeah, exactly. I mean, maybe, I don't know, Graham, right, but if this was a few years ago, right, and if he was coming through the ranks, he might say, no, sorry, because at that time Scotland weren't winning games, and I would say what playing good football as well. But I think it's because you're playing football, you're dominating games, you're scoring good goals as well. I think that kind of helps as well.
As Lino says, do either of you know how Barnes would qualify for Scotland? I think it is that I think there's a parent or grandparent or something. I can't remember what it was, but and I said at the time I genuinely thought that once you played for a country once, that was you basically there. But apparently he's not. He is eligible to play for Scotland. But honestly, I just think that. On you go.
No, I was going to say, do you think what do you make of that rule, Grim?
I probably don't agree with it. I think once you play for a country once, that probably should be you then. You're fully installed in that squad. You're fully installed in there. That's what I thought it was. But because I did check, because when it first came out that he could potentially switch to Scotland, I thought, right, I'm going to check this. So I checked on Google. It's great having Google. And he played for England. He played 14 minutes on a friendly for England. And I went another, because I'm on a few WhatsApp group chats and stuff, and I did say, well, surely he's played for England, they can't play for Scotland, but apparently you've got to play like 4 or 5 proper competitive games before you're actually then fully fledged to that team. So that's apparently how we can play for Scotland. But I don't agree with it. I think once you play for a country once, then that should be you playing for that country. I don't agree with the rule, but like I said, if you're going to get the chance to get a guy of that quality in, then I think you've got to take it.
Did that not happen to Egan McGeady a few years ago when he played for Scotland, but he played for Republic of Ireland? Am I right in saying that, Graham? Or?
I think so, yeah. No, I mean, also, you've got to look at the fact that the likes of Che Adams and Angus Gunn, they're English, but, they've decided to turn their back on England and come to Scotland, which, again, I do like. If you're turning yourself at England, I'm happy with that. But then a lot of folk will say, but it's because England wouldn't want them. Well, look how they've done for us so far. Angus Gunn's been very, very good so far. Che Adams has been really good as well. So I'm more than happy if somebody doesn't want to play for England and they're happy to play for Scotland, I'll take it. I will 100% take it. And I think there's been, over the years, there's been a number of players that have done that as well that were English and they turned up for Scotland. So I'm quite happy with that. I mean, there's a lot of folk that said, like, Lyndon Dykes has probably never been in Scotland before, yet he is fully Scottish now. All these guys that play for Scotland now want to play for the club, want to play for the country, and I like that. And I like this. And a lot of folks said that Harvey Barnes has basically said, you're going to Euros, I want to play for you. Do you know what? I don't care. If you want to play for Scotland, I'm happy with that. As long as you're going to, if you phone Steve Clarke and say, I want to play for Scotland, and Steve Clarke takes you, I'm happy with that. More than happy with that.
So you're talking about Stevie Clarke. Let's hear from Stevie Clarke. He was speaking to the media yesterday about the game against England, and this is what he's got to say about the game.
It's been 150 years in the making, so always good games, always competitive games. Modern era. Certainly in my lifetime, England have probably moved a little bit further in front. We're trying to close the gap on them, and we'll find out tomorrow how much we've closed that gap. It will be a competitive friendly, if you can have such a thing. I think both teams will want to win. Obviously, the boys from both sides interact with each other at different clubs. They come across each other all season, so both sides will want the bragging rights. We try to take out of this game what we need to take out it, so I've got some things that I want to see on the pitch. Testing ourselves against top opposition, which we're going to come across more often in the next 12, 18 months. So we'll use it that way. Gareth will use it the way he wants to use it. I don't think it really matters how both teams set up or how both camps set up. Once you get here, the atmosphere of the game, it'll be very competitive and should be a decent match. Everyone's fit and available.
There you go. Everybody fit and available to play. It's funny that hasn't taken them because, I mean, we spoke about this before. When Scotland weren't playing well and weren't winning games, players were players were called out injured before the game, or 5 minutes before the game, or 2 hours before the game. And now everybody's fit to go. So it's funny, isn't it, how everybody's fit.
Aye, of course. I mean, I said that before. People want to play for Scotland now, which is great. I can give you actually the team news from Hampden. I'm going to read this the way it's written out here. So basically, it's the same team that started on Friday. So it's Angus Gunn in goal, Jack Henry, Ryan Porteous, Kieran Tierney, Aaron Hickey, Billy Gilmore, Callum McGregor, Andy Robertson, Scott McTominay, John McGinn, and Che Adams on the bench. Xander Clark, Robin McCrory, John Suter, Lyndon Dykes, Ryan Christie, Nathan Patterson, Scott McKenna, Stuart Armstrong, Lewis Ferguson, Kevin Nisbet, Ryan Jack, Kenny McLean, and Lawrence Shankland. The England team, for anyone that's interested, they have actually gone quite strong. So it's Aaron Ramsdale in goal. They've got Kyle Walker, Lewis Dunk, Marcus Gay, Kieran Trippier, Declan Rice, Calvin Phillips, Jude Bellingham, Phil Foden, Harry Kane, and Marcus Rashford. On the bench, they've got so it's Sam Johnston, Jordan Pickford, Jordan Henderson, Harry Maguire, Bakaye Sako, Colwell, Tomori, Eze, Wilson, Chilwell, Maddison, Gallagher, and Nketiah. So both teams are going quite strong, to be fair.
I think that we spoke about this on the show I know I have, Graham, between the kind of differences between the Celtic and Rangers bench and how strong it is. And when you look at the Scotland squad, but also I'm just talking about the bench now, and I know I spoke about it on Friday night on the show, you can tell that there's strength and depth on that bench as well.
Yeah, I mean, it is a very, very strong bench. You know, guys that are probably thinking, I might be a bit unlucky not to get a game here, but it's a very, very strong squad. And, you know, I talked about earlier on the fact that friendly games, I don't like the fact you can make a number of changes, but you look at that bench, you know, John Suter, Dykes, Christie, Patterson, McKenna, Armstrong, Ferguson, Nisbet, Jack, McLean, Shankland, they might all get on at some point, and it's a very, very strong bench. And then I talked about earlier on, if you're adding guys like Harvey Barnes and Elliot Anderson to that, it's just even stronger. It's a very, very strong squad. And going to the Euros with that squad is brilliant. But then again, when we get to Euros, I'm sure that other folk might decide, I want to play for Scotland. I'm happy with that. I'm happy with the fact that he's not changed the team. There's continuity in there. You know, he might have thought, you know, I've said it already, for me it's not a friendly because it's Scotland England, but he might have thought, you know what, let's give a couple of guys another run out, but he's not. He's kept the same team, players that deserve to be in there that have worked really hard. Scott McTominay, for example, you know, he has been outstanding for Scotland, and I think he's making himself undroppable, if I'm honest. He's been excellent. John McGinn, you're not going to drop him. 16 goals this season. Che Adams, I think he will give that defensive Duncan Gahey a lot of problems, to be honest. I'm really happy with that Scotland squad. I think it looks very strong. The England squad, for me, it's decent. The midfield, I think, looks a real handful for me. They've got Rice, Phillips, Bellingham, and Foden there. That's a decent midfield, especially Bellingham, who's been outstanding for Real Madrid. So that's going to be an issue. Kane, we know what he can do. Rashford up front. It's going to be a very hard game. But there's no reason Scotland can't win this game. Genuinely no reason Scotland can't win this game. We're a better side than them at the moment.
Do you think if we were playing maybe like a lesser team in a friendly, you would see lots of changes? But do you think it's because of that old rivalry?
Oh, 100%. If we were playing like Hungary or something like that, there'd be a number of changes to that team. But it's because it's England. And this is what I thought earlier on. How strong will we be in this game? How seriously will we take it? Well, you can see by the team sheet, we're taking this very seriously. And that's what I want to see. And I think from the first minute, those Scotland fans will be up for this. You'll hear the anthems. The fans will be up for this right from the start. And I think the players will be as well. You'll know from the first few minutes, as soon as the first tackle goes in, England will know they're in a game here. You know, I know it's billed as a friendly, but they're under pressure here. You know, they are under massive pressure from the media, from the supporters. People are expecting them to come here tonight and win comfortably. But Scotland are not a pushover anymore. A few years ago, yes. It wasn't that long ago we got beat by Kazakhstan 3-0. And folk were looking at that Scotland side thinking, oh, this is dreadful. We're in a very strong position now. We're in a very good place right now. And again, I'm just looking at that squad in front of me. Every single player in that team deserves to be there. There's not one player I can look at and think, you're a bit lucky to be in that squad. They are all very, very good. And I just hope that if Scotland are winning this game at one point, I would bring Stuart Armstrong on, just clear the ball, because he still gives me nightmares about that game last time we played them at Hampden.
Oh yeah, he gave the ball. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I've just wiped it from my mind, Glenn. But thanks for reminding me. So yeah, if you need reminding, it's the 150th anniversary of Scotland against England tonight. It's the oldest international fixture as well. And what even makes it more special is, the game was at Wembley as well, but it wasn't a full house, Graham, because it was during the second lockdown, I think. But now, now it'll be a full house at Hampden. You'll be lucky enough to see a kind of like, what you would say, a cigarette packet. All the seats will be taken tonight.
Yeah, I mean, this is a thing. Like, try telling anybody that this game's a friendly. Try telling those fans that go into this game tonight, this game's a friendly. It's not. Like I keep saying, friendly on paper only. We've all got our Scotland shirts on. I've been on Twitter looking at the build-up. It's been brilliant. There's been so many Scotland fans talking about the game today. This isn't just a normal friendly. This isn't like a run-of-the-mill friendly game. This is a game that matters to Scotland fans. And I'm sure maybe it doesn't to England fans, but for Scotland fans it does matter because of who it is. You know, if it was just a normal run-of-the-mill friendly game against some tin pot nation, well, we are playing England, then it wouldn't be that big a build-up. But this is why we're doing the show tonight. If this was anybody else, we wouldn't be doing this show and then a one after it. But it's because it's England. This game is really important. And I've just noticed that I'm watching that while I'm doing this show. See, who says men can't multitask? I'm doing this and I'm watching the laptop as well. So it's 6 changes that England have made to their team from the Ukraine game. And like I say, it's a very strong side. Kieran Trippier is making his 43rd appearance. Phil Foden's a very good footballer. Watched him for Man City numerous times. So they're taking this seriously. This, for me, could be a really good game. I don't care if it's a boring game, as long as Scotland come out on top. And we're coming on the show after it, celebrating a famous win. This is a game that matters. It really is. If we get beat, it won't be just a friendly. But no, I want to win this game. I really do. I want to go into the weekend talking about a Scotland win over England. It could be rugby, it could be football, it could be table tennis, it could be snooker. I don't care. I just want to beat England. That's all I want.
And I know it's not going to be user friendly, Graham, because I mean you mentioned it early on the show. I mean, you can see a good game 1 minute, and then by the second half, it's all changed. Like they've made millions of subs, but I would be very surprised if they made that amount of subs tonight because of what's at stake.
Yeah, I mean that's what I hope for. That's what I said earlier. These friendly games at times do annoy me a little bit. That's kind of where I'm glad the Nations League thing came in, because then it's like proper competitive games and it gets rid of these friendly games. Because let's be honest, even though Scotland's in a great place just now, friendly games are boring. They're not exciting. They're a chance to test a few players out. They're a chance to give players a chance to get a bit of a run out, but they don't mean anything. So that's why I'm kind of glad these Nations League games are coming. And the friendly games, as I said earlier on, you make so many changes during a game and it just ruins the flow of the game. I hope that doesn't happen tonight. Now, don't get me wrong, there'll be players on that bench that'll think, I might get a chance tonight. I said it already, I'm biased, but I want to see Lawrence Shankland get a chance tonight, and I would love him to see him score as well. But I would just, I just watched Scotland putting a performance in, like we did at Euros at Wembley. I thought we were great that day. Really unlucky not to win that game. And I'd like to see us doing the same thing again today. Put in a performance, play really well, and if we win the game, even better. I just want to see a performance. But like I said, this Scotland team is in a great place just now. You know, everyone now has fallen in love with Scotland. Even like my laddie earlier on keeps asking what time the game kicks off. He's getting into Scotland as well now, which he's got his wee Scotland top on as well. It's great. So many folk are talking about this game. for a friendly game that apparently means nothing. You don't get that in a normal game, but it's because it's England.
Yeah, I think when we usually do these shows, Graham, especially Scotland games, I mean, you've been on long with me to find out, but like usually it's like, well, what's the pros and cons of the game? But since we've actually dug these kind of shows, there's more positives and negatives about the game.
Oh, definitely. And who would have thought that about Scotland a few years ago?
Yeah.
You know, we had I talked about earlier, the 3-0 defeat by Kazakhstan, we were getting beat by Ukraine, we were getting beat by Ireland, and it was like we were coming on here raging. And now everyone's positive. Everyone's really excited for the national team. Normally, and I'm going to be honest here, and a lot of folk will think this as well, normally international breaks, I can't be bothered with. You just want club football.
Mm-hmm.
But I like the national break. I like the national breaks now. I like coming on and talking about Scotland because there's a passion in the squad now. There's a passion in the management out there. You know, it's like a club team just now. Everybody wants to play for Scotland, and it's fantastic, honestly. And I just think this is a game tonight that Scotland can look forward to. And I'm telling you right now, I talked about it earlier on. You watch all the pictures on Twitter of the build up to the game. Scotland fans are excited for this. You wouldn't get that from a normal friendly. This is a game that Scotland fans really want to win. And I am in that camp as well. I want to win this game so much. So don't tell me it's just a friendly, because it's not.
Someone commented, I think it's on Twitch, Graham, and some David says, it's time for Scotland to kick England's I'm sure you can fill in the blanks there. If not, I will tell you after the show if you send me an email. So time to put your prediction hat on, Graham. And what do you think the score will be? And I'm not going to say who to because, well, that's so obvious. Well, maybe it's not, is it? But what's the score going to be, Graham?
I'm going to go 2-1 Scotland. I'm going to say that John McGinn will score, and I'm going to say, just because I'm going to be really biased again, I'm going to say that Shanklin's going to come off the bench and score. And by the way, I think that might be the first comment we've had of anyone from Twitch. So thank you for that comment, Dave. It was great to see a lot of folk getting comments in here. That's the first comment I've ever had off Twitch. So it does work. Who knew? It does work.
Yeah, I know exactly. Because I mean, I did say 2 weeks ago, Twitch. What's Twitch, man? Because I'm kind of getting to that age now where I was on Bebo, MySpace, and all the rest of it. Anyway, Dave says yes. What's
Bebo,
that?
how old are you? Bebo, how old are you? Who uses that anymore?
No. I used to do that. Now, don't embarrass me and say I don't know what Bebo is. Yeah. So Dave says I would like Scotland to win 2-1, and he says, yeah, I'm following on TikTok as well. Dave says I'm from between Aberdeen and Inverness. There you go. I failed my geography at school, mate, so I don't know where. And Anna Reno says we'll keep a clean sheet tonight. Scotland 3-0. England will be more crucial tonight. No face, there you go. Thanks, Dave. You can tell I'm a weatherman, telling you. So I was going to ask Dave his prediction, right? But he's went back in his box, Graham, so I don't know what he's going to say. I think he'll say a Scotland win, but I'm not too sure because you never know these kind of journalist people. I'm going to, fun enough, right? I'm not going to say this, Graham, right? But I was thinking about 2-1 or 2-0 all day, right? But now that you've went 2-1, I'm going to go 2-0. So there you go. And we see this out with now or something. And we'll come back on the show and we'll have nothing to talk about. But Lorna's,
I don't think this game will finish 0-0. I genuinely don't.
Exactly. So thanks for watching, Dave, on Twitch. And I'm going to sign up for that actually when I know how to work it. Actually, I think me and Graham needs a lesson on that kind of twit.
To be
Yeah.
fair, I'm on TikTok.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Tic-tac. Is that no? Right. Okay. Is
That's
that
what my laddie eats. That's wee sweeties.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. By the way, there's more sweets available, but yeah, I thought we'd just throw that one in there. Anyway, back to the game because I think that's all we're here to talk about. 5 minutes left on the show. Scotland, England. Get your comments coming in. We'll be back on at 10 o'clock. Hopefully with Dave as well.
Come on, Scotland!
As he comes out that boxing. Graham, before I came on tonight, Graham was he's very professional at his job. He had a brave hat on. So that was good. I pity you can't pick on in the show, but never mind. So where do you think who will dominate the game tonight? And obviously John McGinn, but any other players stand out for you?
I mentioned him on Friday. Billy Gilmore for me. You know, again, he'll think he's got a point to prove as well. He's just a fantastic little footballer. I think he could have a really good impact on this game. I think we've got to try and keep. I think the midfield is going to be the important thing tonight. They're going to have Phillips, Rice, and Bellingham in there. 3 very good players, but we've got good players of our own. We've got to dominate that midfield, and we've got to get support to Che Adams, which I think he'll get from the likes of McGinn and McTominay. I would love to see us get an early goal and just really getting about them right for the first whistle. I think we will get about them for the first whistle, but that first goal could be crucial tonight. If we get it, I just wonder if England might kind of collapse a little bit because I said they weren't great against the Ukraine. They lost an early goal. They lost an early goal against them, and they were not great. They got back in it, but they were very poor. England are really not that good a side. They'll qualify for the Euros because they always do because they get easy groups, but they're not a great side. And there's a lot of England fans don't like Gareth Southgate, which I can understand because I don't think he's a good a manager. He's just very, very lucky. He's managed to get to tournaments with minimum of fuss because he don't play anybody decent. But I don't think he's a very good manager. I think Steve Clark can get a result tonight. I really do. And I am honestly thinking that Scotland come out of this game with a win. I'm feeling confident tonight. Obviously, that might prove wrong in a few hours, but I genuinely think this Scotland team are such a good side. And if we can compete against this England side, and like I said, a lot of these guys that are playing for Scotland tonight know the England players. They've played against them before in the Premiership, so they know what to expect. It's not going to be a massive shock, but this is a great chance for us to get one over on them.
A couple minutes left on the show, Graham. Have you still got the team news here? Team line up there, Graham. If you can give us that one more time, that would be Fandabidozi.
But I took it off. I can get it back up again. It's basically the same team that played on Friday, but I can get it back up again.
Yeah, no, that's fine. While Graham's getting back up, I mean, why not? Wales got to the quarterfinals of the European Championships. Why can't we?
Exactly. There's no reason that Scotland can't get to Europe. Well, we are going to be at the Euros anyway. But I think when we get there, I'd like to see us doing a bit better than we did last time. So I can give you the Scotland team again in case you don't know it. It's the same team as Friday, so it's Angus Gunn and goal, Jack Henry, Ryan Porteous, Kieran Tierney, Aaron Hickey, Billy Gilmore, Callum McGregor, Andy Robertson, Scott McTominay, John McGinn and Che Adams. On the bench for Scotland tonight, Xander Clark, Robbie McCrory, John Suter, Lyndon Dykes, Ryan Christie, Nathan Patterson, Scott McKenna, Stuart Armstrong, Lewis Ferguson, Kevin Nisbet, Ryan Jack, Kenny McLean, and the one and only Lawrence Shankland.
There you go. Robert McLean Watson on YouTube saying, I'm with Graham. No, you're not. You're not sitting beside him. He says, I'm with Graham on Shankland. Hope he gets the game. And Anna Reno says, I hope we pump them. There you go. That's a good skill game word, Graham.
That's a different channel. We don't do that on here. That's a different channel.
That's on Saturday nights. Anyway, Graham, thanks for watching. Thanks to, I was going to say thanks to Dave, but he was only here for about 2 minutes. We'll be back at 10 o'clock. And also, Come on, Scotland!
Come on, Scotland!
The Locker Room, with all the sports news you need.